And for this team, a high-scoring ball club against the Huskies today. Florida State forward, 97 to 2001, a very, very good one. Then went on into her coaching career in 2011. And in year number 1 at the helm, and things are going awfully well. Their only defeat coming against Oklahoma State, and that was a close one, 79-77.
Well, Brooke Wyckoff has a group of youngsters. She has a few veteran players, but mainly rely on sophomore and freshmen to provide the production. And this team, they play collectively well. And she talks about how much fun this young group is to coach.
Obviously our best to coach Oriema in year number 38, the Hall of Famer. And in very, very good hands with Coach Daly, of course, because as you mentioned, she's never lost in that role when she's had to take over the team as the head coach.
Well, at practice this morning, you saw her fill in, and one of the things that I was so, I always am mesmerized with when you watch a Connecticut practice, is each one of the coaches know the scouting report up one side and down the other, and really pay attention to the details. If there's one player that's not in the right place, it'll be Chris Daly that goes over and says, no, this is how you should post up, or this is the rotation of where you should be defensively.
Dorka Juhas is back, the 6'5" grad from Hungary, but you look at the list of injuries, you could make a top 5 team in the national rankings just out of the players who are out of the lineup today for the UConn Huskies.
This group of players right here could probably be a group that would be in a starting lineup we would be see play in April for a national championship. And 3 that are on the list are out for the season, but having Dorka Juhas back, bringing that size inside is going to be key for Connecticut, as well as having Nika Mule back healthy.
Nika Mule, the great point guard, averaging about 10 assists per game. She missed the last one against Maryland because of concussive symptoms, but back in there here this afternoon for the first of 2. We've got Iowa State and Villanova, another terrific game coming up in game number 2. And frankly, we have the best seat in America, I think, for the next several hours, with a bevy of great players. I'm talking Player of the Year candidates, Conference Player of the Year winners. Should be something else today.
Well, and you're going to see so many different styles of play also. These 2 teams we get to start off with, are you buckled up? Because it is going to be fast-paced.
This will be a track meet, I think, back and forth. And getting set for the opening tip, and FSU will win that as Latson runs it down. Man, is she something special. Number 1 in the ACC in scoring. One of the great scorers in the country. Her first layup will be off target, but 25 points per game as you look at UConn's starting lineup. And this has been a moving target, obviously, to this point. But with Mule back in there, that's going to be a key. Presented by Invesco.
Mule really makes this team go. She is the true point guard on the floor.
Jump shot won't go there by Lopez Seneschal. Born in Mexico, raised in France. First jumper by Latson off target. That's going to be the way of it throughout the day. She takes twice as many shots as anybody else on their team. Lopez Seneschal with an early strike. As we look at the Florida State starting lineup, brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Massagill, certainly a familiar name because this is her 3rd school and she started everywhere she's gone.
Well, she started out at the University of Tennessee, then she transferred to the University of Kentucky. She was part of that team that won the SEC championship tournament last year, and now finds herself in the starting lineup at FSU.
Outstanding programs. 9 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament for the Seminoles, and another miss by Latson, and a chilly start for her. So UConn in transition. They lost 3 starters to injuries underneath, and a big strike there by Edwards, the 6'3" junior. And playing with that face mask because of the broken nose, so even the so-called healthy players for the Huskies are probably a little banged up in some positions.
This is what Connecticut does so well. Off a missed shot, off a turnover, running quick and getting right into their offense.
How about that start for the Huskies, despite no Gino on the sideline and all those injured players out in front 6-0 here against the Seminoles in Connecticut. Off to the races for the 7-2 UConn Huskies. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the NCAA, and healthcare.gov. Need health insurance? Sign up at healthcare.gov now through January 15th. Great to have you with us. Happy holidays. Carolyn Peck, Dave O'Brien with you. Getting out of the gate quickly. Edwards, the 6'3 junior, MVP of the Phil Knight Legacy Tournament, averaging about 16 and 10 coming in. And another quick turnover. UConn all the way through, can't convert it. And out it goes. 7:58 to go here in the quarter. 6-0 UConn.
On a missed shot, UConn has been able to get up and down the floor. When you take a shot, when you're playing against Connecticut, you got to make sure somebody is back in transition.
Bejadi can't get it from long range. One and done are the Seminoles. The Huskies in transition quickly behind Mule, the 5'10 junior from Croatia. Are they ever delighted she has recovered? So lengthens out the UConn roster a little bit. 8 healthy players. On the drive here, she'll get a shot clock down to 10. Juhas around, and there's Edwards who will draw the foul.
Gino was at practice this morning, and I asked him about Aaliyah Edwards and what was the difference between her sophomore year to now her junior year, because he was really frustrated with her during her sophomore season. And he pointed out there were 5 games that she went without having an offensive rebound. And he said he challenged her with that, and she has brought a sense of urgency since she's come back for her junior season.
On the cut, boy, they ran that beautifully. Griffin will finish the shot. Aubrey Griffin at 29 against Princeton and went 11 for 11.
She finds her opportunities. I don't know that you necessarily have to run a play for Aubrey Griffin, because she's just going to cut hard and make reads, and with her speed, she gets herself opportunities.
Jumper around and out by Howard, who's only hitting 28% out there. So it's been a cold year for her beyond the three-point line. Back to Aubrey Griffin, the junior out of New York.
The communication from Juhas to Griffin, hard sell outside the three-point line, and you can't dance. You go hard out and then hard cut back in. That's how you get open going back door.
UConn off to a terrific start. An 8-0 lead. Buell on the penetration. Edwards is open underneath, and she's not going to miss that shot. Meanwhile, Florida State on the other end has started 0 for 7.
Well, first, Florida State's trying to find a way to stop the offense of Connecticut. They went that zone, but on the other end, they got to find some answers of how to score, because they're getting those opportunities in the paint.
Buell tipped it out of bounds, so FSU will keep it here, down by 10.
Connecticut's so good at taking advantage of that middle soft spot of the zone, the flash in the middle. You get it around that free throw line area, then the post just cut behind on that backside.
Latson lost it, so another turnover. The Seminoles very chilly. And Latson is so far 0 for 3 from the field, but you mentioned she's had cold starts before and then caught fire.
Well, yeah, she started her last game 0 for 9, I believe, and then finished the game 9 of 18. And I talked to her last night, and I said, how are you going to feel facing, a crowd like this and playing Connecticut? She told me she was a little nervous, but it won't take long for that young lady to settle in.
Maybe that one will get her going off the turnover. Latson, the freshman from Miami. So unusual to see a freshman shooting at the high percentage that she has so far this season. Maybe not yet today. That could very well change. Juhas gets a good look, and around and out. Battle for the rebound. It'll stay on this end for the Huskies. UConn shooting 52%, 43% from the three-point line. Very good at the foul line, 74%. So all of that very UConn-like.
Well, you've got to expect that all the players have that next man up, person up mentality, not having their head coach. They're putting a little extra focus in with not having Gino on the sideline. Wow!
Juhas getting up there to deflect that shot. Gordon was trying to go end to end. She said, absolutely not.
And Juhas timed this perfectly, caught it in the air.
Transfer from Ohio State, missed 7 games with that broken thumb. But back in today, on the drive, trying the window. That won't go for Howard. A 10-2 lead for the Huskies. Well, a healthier early season version of UConn, even without Paige Beckers. They defeated third-ranked Texas, top 10 NC State. They beat Duke by 28. They beat a top 10 opponent in Iowa, all before the Notre Dame game. And I know we were going into Notre Dame, and you were talking about, this is a huge danger zone here. Whistle with 5:06 to go because, the injuries had become insurmountable.
And you just have to.
Now Griffin going down and slow to rise.
Ladson,
I should say, going down and slow to rise here. Meanwhile, Juhas going off the floor after very effective opening minutes here. Take a look.
Ladson has Aubrey Griffin. It's a bigger guard on her, and that's what Connecticut is trying to do, is take away from any of the looks, because they know, like you've mentioned several times, that Ladson's going to take the majority of the shots for Florida State.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are hosting the Rams at Lambeau on Monday Night Football, 8 o'clock on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus, the Manicast on ESPN2, and coverage begins Monday night countdown at 6 o'clock. So a 10-4 game, and Ladson heading to the bench, to the very end of the bench, and shaken up. One of the top scorers in America, at least lost for the moment to the Seminoles.
The zone defense, that's one of the things you cannot do is foul. You've got to get down in a stance and move, ready to defend on the bounce in a zone. Because you got to realize you have help, because you're defending spots on the floor. When a player puts the ball on the deck, just get down in a good stance.
This could be a blood issue for Edwards for the moment. The foul is on Valencia Myers, her first. And Edwards heading back out with 4:51 to go in the first. Yule trying to get it in. Griffin to the baseline and shut down. Yule will launch that one and knock it down. The three-pointer looked very smooth on that one.
The inconsistency from the three-point line, I believe, has had a lot to do with whether or not Nika Mule's been on the floor.
Aubrey Griffin getting up high, the 6'1" junior. Here's Edwards. Yes, got a great look and absolutely buried the shot.
Connecticut looks like they're settling back into the form we are used to seeing.
7 out of 12 are the Huskies. Edwards with another rebound. She comes in averaging 10 per game. That's going to be a traveling violation on Griffin. A little too eager.
But running, that's the Connecticut style, and you'll take those kind of turnovers. That's been a bugaboo for the Huskies, is turning the ball over. But those running in transition, pushing forward, pushing pace down the floor, I think you can live with those.
UConn coming out to play watertight defense. The long one won't go. Massigill off target.
Well, what's Connecticut doing? They're flooding the paint. They're trying to take away any driving lanes from Florida State. That puts them in great position to rebound missed shots, and then they can get to the other end, execute their offense.
Ducharme right at the foul line. Now let's see if the Seminoles can get this offense going, because they average 88 points a game.
A lot of times they are creating offense off their defense. They've had layup opportunities even they haven't been able to knock down. Now they're settling for outside shots.
Lopez Seneschal off the contact. Edwards wants that lane. No one stopping her, and through for two. Talk about a strong move to the glass.
Her confidence level has it's risen to another level. With the versatility she's already showed, she's got that face-up shot from the elbow, she scored down low in the paint, and now taking it off the bounce.
She has 10. Mule just back from injury, just back from a concussion, hitting the floor.
Check out this post move from outside the three-point line. Hard dribble with the left, then bring it back and finish it to the right.
That's an All-American move.
100%, or All-Canadian.
Yes.
No, definitely.
In this particular case, and still, working on a bit of an injury there on that hand. And that's the second time she's needed medical attention on that. Timpson on the spin, but a whistle. Michaela Timpson trying to go in strong. Sophomore from Edison, Georgia. Getting some of that on the jersey as well. Juhas with the foul. It's her right hand. So somewhere early on suffered a cut. And Timpson will be at the line, but she makes 64%. She's certainly their best rebounder, just about 10 a game.
She's really had a rough time with the how much the paint has been clogged inside today. They haven't been able to get the looks, the post-ups inside where the Seminoles have been able to be so successful.
FSU very good on the backboards. Not really that great from three-point land, just 31%. So if they find themselves in a major deficit, it's tough to claw back with the three.
Well, and they've got to get their freshmen going.
Right back up and in, once again by the big. Juhas making a huge difference early.
That's what UConn has missed, is having that rotation, and now with Juhas in the middle, really can play a 4-out, 1-in with a 5. She being the 5, having the ability, she can step out as well and really spread the floor. Cutting is key to the UConn offense.
Well, good to see Tanai Latson back on the floor for the Seminoles, but boy, they have had a dreadful time shooting it. 1 for 17. Latson again deflected, draws the foul, and she will be going to the line. Very good foul shooter. And another player down. And slow to rise, Griffin. Juhas picks up strong contact inside, another block shot.
Yeah, Aubrey Griffin took it on the chin when Latson went up.
Griffin with number 2. Latson makes 80%. Also an outstanding defender. Just had 8 steals against Presbyterian. Women's basketball continuing later on ESPN2 in the app. Second annual Pac-12 USLBM Coast to Coast Challenge. The American Airlines Arena in Dallas. USC in Texas at 3:30 and 7:30. Number 12 Arizona facing number 19 Baylor. We got some great games all day long in our family of networks. And a whistle with 1:51 to go in the first quarter.
It's a good thing that we have the ESPN app, so
thank goodness.
Games that are going on while we're on, we can go back and watch it later.
You live on the app.
I do live on the app, absolutely.
Valenzuela with the personal. Now UConn without Gino Oriemo on the sideline, not feeling well. Out of an abundance of caution, he is elected to step aside today. Chris Daly, associate head coach, has the team. That they have looked sharp early on. Jetty will line that one up and drain it. Long distance for the 5'7" senior.
A lot of times what you have to do is get over that name on the front of the chest, right? And Connecticut has made their run early. Now can this young Florida State squad settle in, but you got to defend.
Lou Lopez Seneschal, you heard the crowd here. The UConn fans, they went right into a long Lou as she let it go.
Well, Dorka Juhas getting inside. And Lou Seneschal able to knock it down and get to the free throw line.
Latson with the foul. So an opportunity here for a 4-point play. She's averaging 17 a game. Born in Mexico, raised in France, then naturally found her way to Fairfield.
Naturally. Well, when she found her way to Fairfield, she was able to score over 1,500 points in her career. And Gino told her when she came to Connecticut, now, when you were at Fairfield, a lot of the offense was run to you. That will not be the case here, but when it does go to you, knock down shots, and that's what she did.
She makes 53% from three-point line. 53. First Fairfield grad in UConn's. First player from France. Seneschal will give it up here. Down low for Edwards. Look at the ball movement here for UConn. Uhas can stick that shot. A three-pointer. And this one's turning into an early runaway, 26-9. So UConn may be shorthanded even in the coaching category, but the players who are healthy and playing today are just flat getting it done against a very good FSU team.
Well, UConn, they're playing with a little extra hot today.
Latson blocked again by Uhas, having a great first quarter.
Uhas bringing the emotion too. Latson comes inside, and Uhas, she's not just blocking, she's sending a message.
Already 4 block shots for her. And the first quarter is not over yet. FSU with a chance at the buzzer, and that's going to be banked in by Timpson. Right at the horn, but everything else was going the Huskies' way. 26-11, and just in cruise control early. Been a story of injuries for UConn, but they're getting healthier.
And they're moving the basketball, giving up a good shot for a great shot. And hey, happy birthday, Dorka Uhas. Does she look like she's having fun today or what?
Just a little bit. You gotta love the smile for a player who's missed a bunch of games, you know, broken thumb, coming back from that and back on the floor. The feeling has to be terrific for her, and marvelous start here. She has 4 blocks already.
She's already hit a 3. She's tied her career high with 4 blocks. That was just in the first quarter, and she's not done yet.
So UConn just rocking and rolling, 28-11. Another player back at key 1-2 in Nika Mule, averaging 10 assists per game, getting in the flow of the offense. And it bears repeating, Florida State's a really good team. Again, 11-1, very close to being 12-0, coming in here today. Really 2 points away from being undefeated, coming to the state of Connecticut. They beat Houston in overtime. They beat Purdue by 1 point. They won at Wisconsin by 5, so they're a battle-tested team.
The area that Florida State has been able to be successful scoring is in that middle third of the floor. And you look, when they're on offense, that's where really Connecticut is camping out. They're taking away that middle drive.
Edwards on the high post, back to Lopez Seneschal. With the shot clock down to 12. Another one flipped up there by Edwards. She takes the hit. She'll be at the line.
The size advantage that Aaliyah Edwards has. We've talked about how she already has demonstrated. You have to respect her from the perimeter, but also that quick first step off the bounce.
Had a great tournament in the Phil Knight Legacy, where she averaged 19 points, 12 rebounds a game. She's been a double-double machine so far.
Yeah, she's had double figures in 8 of the 9 games this season. But she's increased her production on the floor. She's almost doubled points per game from what she had last year.
Easy Fudd is out, of course. It's 21 points a game, and Paige Beckers, 2021 National Player of the Year, both out for the season. All they can do is sit and watch. Like being on camera. They like being on TV. We like having them on TV, usually on the court.
Yeah, we'd rather see them on the court in uniform.
Yes. A couple of great players. Latson trying to go to work, but no, and it's been a really frustrating start for Tania Latson.
I think the length of Uhas inside. She's going after another one.
Bigetti will lay it in.
She didn't get there in time.
Great dig there by Latson, though, to get the basketball back. And they need some momentum, seriously. The Seneschal, no. One and done that time for the Huskies. FSU with a high-octane offense, and this is their leader, Latson. Edwards taking a tumble off her hands and out of play. And back to the other end.
If you're not going to be able to score in the half court, then create some offense off your defense. And that's where Latson stays after it. Bigetti able to pay it off.
She is from Helsinki, Finland, the senior, and late of Arizona State. So the transfers have really helped things out. for Wycott's team. Nicely done there into the lane, and 2 for Timpson. Comes in averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds a game, but they need a whole lot more of that. Down by 15. Lopez Seneschal. So dangerous beyond the three-point line.
Watch the constant movement.
Stolen away by the Seminoles. They've had a couple of those now. Latz is going to lay it in. So starting to force those turnovers. You talked about this. UConn with more turnovers than their opponents.
It's going to be important for Florida State to get some point production. It's got to be a steal score mentality if you're the Seminoles, if you're going to get yourself back into this one.
Kev, Steph, and Nikki coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report. We'll look ahead to a big top 6 battle in Blacksburg between Notre Dame and Virginia Tech. Steph, why have things looked so easy for UConn?
Huskies got the point guard back. Pace is better, ball movement's better. Looks good, right?
Well, they're taking care of the basketball, but the best offensive execution is for them to turn it over, because now you have 6 points by Clemson.
And what a start for Aaliyah Edwards as well. We will see you, OB and CP, at the half.
Kev, Steph, Nikki, thank you very much. Indeed, we will. Hey, FSU in a little bit of a run here, 6-0. That forced a timeout.
Well, that's what Nikki Fargas talked about. The turnovers has been what has allowed Florida State to be so successful this year. Connecticut can't get back into that realm where they were turning the ball over like they did against Maryland, Notre Dame. They've got to take care of the basketball.
Buell tied up, and a whistle there, too. With 7:39 to go here in the second, tightly defended. Take a look. They're going to go to the monitor, I think, are they?
Yeah, they're going to look to see if there was a little extracurricular activity. I don't know, there might have been a little acting, a little bit. I don't know.
Seen that before. The defense by Bejetti.
Yeah, Sarah Bejetti just, in the men's game, if there's no contact and you act, that's a flop, right? They don't call that in the women's game.
Yeah, the new rule in the men's game is a technical. If it's perceived to be a flop or acting. Officials today are Jeff Smith, Rod Creech, and Talisa Green. So they're over to take a look at the monitor.
So the foul was called on Sarah Bejetti, and then they are looking to see if there is a possible foul to be called on Nika Mule. That's tough because you don't know what the intention was. If she was just, finishing off, protecting herself. And Bejetti had stopped, but Nika Mule continued to play.
Well, you can see the common foul.
Sure.
Beyond that, can you pin something else on Nika Mule? I'm not so sure you can. See Chris Daly there on the sideline, taking over as the head coach today for Gino Auriemma, the 8-time National Coach of the Year. So if you missed it, the early announcement today, stepping aside today under an abundance of caution. He wasn't feeling well, elected not to coach today. I certainly wish the great Gino Auriemma nothing but the best and a speedy recovery. Meanwhile, UConn got a great start, lead at 30-17 right now. Let's see if there's anything else tacked on here. So after they go to the monitor, anything extra there?
No, and Jeff Smith came over because I told him before the game if he didn't come over and tell us what they were huddling about, I was going to throw a water bottle across the floor.
You did, and you were holding a hot coffee at the same time, so I think he was warned. Lopez Seneschal will give it up here for Edwards. Short jumper off the iron. Trying to cut in here. Bejetti can't get it to fall. In transition. Here comes Mule with a bounce speed and a great defense by Massigal. She'll take it hard to the lane. And tipped out of play by UConn. Back to the defense. They have a disagreement here. It's actually going to be UConn ball.
Running in transition, Jasmine Massigal did not give up on the play. That's a great 2-on-1 drill. You got to hedge to the ball handler so you can recover if that pass is made.
Long one here by Lopez Seneschal, and absolutely true again. 53% at the three-point line.
It's just tough to play a zone with Seneschal on the floor. It's just too tough. You've got to know where number 11 in white is.
Latson now 2 for 11. Lopez Seneschal stepping into that one. Man, that was in the cylinder and came out. Just one opportunity there. Gordon in transition. Up top for Howard, and yes, nice answer there for the Seminoles.
Well, Seminoles got to get in rhythm. Moving the basketball, then catch the ball, scoring in rhythm instead of second guessing because you've missed a few early shots.
UAS had a great first quarter. No basket there, the whistle before the shot. She blocked 4 shots. The Ohio State transfer. Healthy again. UConn by 13. The foul here against Timpson of the Seminoles, number 2. Huskies trying to win their 8th. Last time out, they're beaten by Maryland. Long distance, and oh so sweet by Ducharme.
That's a tough part about guarding Connecticut. They're so active when you play them in a man, so then you go to a zone. Well, what do? Knock down perimeter shots.
Well, Howard just did it on the other end. Nice answer there. She has 6. Aaron Howard, 6'1" senior. With a nifty feed and up and in for Edwards. That's just a little too easy.
Movement without the basketball. It's just key. And when you move the way that UConn and Edwards do inside for Connecticut, that just makes them so hard to guard.
She's got 14. Howard trying to heat up. She's made a couple of shots here. 38-23. UConn on the attack again. Edwards on the high post. Seneschal again. She is feeling it. 41-23. Lou Lopez Seneschal with some sweet jump shots here to open up the lead once again for the Huskies. Massigal swinging it here. You know Howard wants to get a shot off.
Florida State not able to get the ball to Latson.
Shot by Gordon, but a foul before that. As Myers hit the deck right around the foul line. And the foul will go against Lopez Seneschal. That will be her first. Huskies with 6 players who have missed at least 1 game this season. Nika Mule back in the lineup after the concussion that cost her the last one against Maryland. And she'll get the foul here. And on Mule, that'll be number 1. And another whistle. A lot of contact here off the basketball. And another personal foul against Connecticut. That's on Mule as well. So 2 quick ones. Crowd doesn't like it.
Ball movement, body movement. That's got to be key for Florida State to create those opportunities. Try to free up some offensive opportunities.
Villanova and Iowa State to come in game number 2 right here on this floor in the Invesco QQQ Hall of Fame Classic.
Can't wait for that one to see Maddie Seacrest and Ashley Jones go head-to-head.
2 truly great players, not just individual years, but spectacular careers. FSU trying to crawl back into this one. Valenzuela with the bucket. Got to get back and play D on the Huskies here. Buell over the top. Edwards. And again, another easy basket. She's simply not going to miss.
That's just too easy. Post up wise. And I think one of the advancements I have seen in Edwards is she's doing her post work early with her feet before she gets the basketball.
So she's earning it. 6'3" junior out of Ontario, Canada.
And she's wide open again.
She was. UConn's trying to get it to her. On the move again, and the block knocked right back to her. Here's Mule. FSU unable to cut in very much. Here's Valenzuela. Yeah, got that one to go, a three-pointer. 43-28.
Florida State in a danger zone. They need to try to chip away at this thing and try to get it into single digits or at least 10 points going into the half.
And not noted as a good three-point shooting team. Ducharme with a handoff. Shot clock down to 13. You'll back for Edwards, and she is just rocking and rolling here today. And she has 18 in the first half. 9 assists already for Nika Mule.
Well, when you put Aaliyah Edwards in a ball screen, you have no options. You switch it, there's going to be a smaller player on her. You double, try to take away the ball handler. She slips, Mule's getting it there. They're going to have to really look at their ball screen. Florida State, look at their ball screen defense.
Bichetti on the drive and going to go the other way. An offensive foul. Lopez Seneschal hit the deck hard there. Bichetti second. Well, every time you see a Husky go down, you're like, oh, wait a minute now. Is this going to be more serious than just a little knock?
I hold my breath a little bit. And it looks like Lopez Seneschal got tangled up and just couldn't get her hands down to catch herself before she fell.
So 2:28 to go in the quarter and the first half. Florida State 11-1, UConn at 7-2. UConn coming off that loss against Maryland, 85-78. And Chino called that a gutsy, amazing performance. He only had 7 available players. As we take another look.
They're trying to check to see if the offensive foul was an intentional foul. So seeing if there's anything, I don't know if it's from,
you know, you're looking
Bichetti?
for a little something extra, yeah, maybe with the
Little
arm,
elbow
the elbow
inside.
perhaps. But again,
or are they looking at Valencia Myers, the post that was set in the screen?
Could be.
Could be a little hip check there.
looks like a pretty simple screen.
Yeah, I think even Myers looks like she just immediately, let me stop. And she kind of froze. Didn't even, most post players would take that foot out to get a little wider. She didn't do that.
Lopez Seneschal tripped over her foot, but that certainly looked inadvertent. Anything that Myers did on the play.
I didn't see anything extra there.
But taking another long look at official review. 45-28, UConn. And while we wait, we can tell you that the inaugural Jumpman Invitational in Charlotte will tip off on Tuesday. A top 20 women's matchup between number 7 North Carolina and number 19 Michigan. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on ESPN2 and the app. It's not a game you're going to be calling because you told me when this one's over, you're headed home. It's holiday time, and you and your husband have something you do every time the holiday season gets underway before anything else.
Oh, we got to watch the National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. When the aunt says the blessing and she starts the Pledge of Allegiance,
Right.
It is just my favorite.
All right. Found out a lot more about you right there than I ever expected. You and your wonderful husband. Griffin with the kick. Ducharme can't find a range there.
Dorka Juhas is everywhere.
Everywhere. On the baseline now, and we'll draw the whistle. Florida State with another personal with 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
You think Juhas is playing like she's missed being out on the court? I mean, just the joy, the energy that she's brought to the floor.
And every time, something goes well, and a whole lot has here in the first half for the Huskies, she has a huge smile on her face.
It's an appreciation for the sport you love.
She had only played in a couple of games before the broken thumb, but played very, very well. 10 points, 10 rebounds a game. And a whistle. Going to be a violation here, lane violation on FSU. So Juhas will have another one coming. Grad student from Hungary. In and out. And did they do it again?
Wow.
How about that? You don't see that every day. Another lane violation. 2 in a row against the Seminoles. Take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Another net on that one. Another big smile from Dorka.
Oh,
and a technical as well here. The frustration beginning to really spill over for the Seminoles. So it's all coming unglued very quickly here for Florida State.
well, I think when Aaron Howard stepped in and got called for the violation, I think Brooke Wyckoff said the next play she did the same thing. They didn't call it. And so she was arguing the case for her player.
Assuming that's on her and not an assistant. Not exactly sure it was on the bench. We're being told it was the bench.
Okay.
Because when you coached her, she was not a hothead.
No, and she always played. She wanted to go out and kick your butt, and she'd do it with a smile.
There you go. Standing off for Griffin, trying to get in close, and banks in two.
Aubrey Griffin, Aaliyah Edwards, doubling their production since the last time they were on the floor. Remember, Griffin, she sat out last season. She had back surgery.
Trying to get back a little bit closer. Latson would be the reason why, averaging 25 points a game, but she has had a very, very rough first half.
But Latson she can get heated up now.
Under 90 seconds before halftime. Juhas on the attack, blocked, and a clean block, and they're going to get the basketball back. Nice play there by Valenzuela. They just haven't had many highlights in the first half on the FSU side. FSU did start 1 for 17 to 10 for 18 since then.
Well, they've got to get Latson going. And she's just open over on the backside.
Valenzuela inside. Valenzuela, the 6'2 sophomore, able to drive all the way through and draw the foul.
I think putting Latson on the backside. Now the defense is stunned. What do I do? Do I go guard the freshman on the backside? There's no help. And that allows Valenzuela to attack the paint.
So Griffin picks up number 3. Valenzuela averaging 7 and 5. Sophomore from Mexico. And a three-point play, a little bit of a lift there for the Seminoles. And under a minute before the break. Edwards downstairs and the bigs connect. Juhas again.
The high-low work. Had been Edwards down low. Now Juhas goes down low. The reverse seal, perfect positioning.
It's going to be turned over.
Juhas comes down in the paint, gets great position, then the reverse seal, and the pass from Edwards to the left side just gives Juhas an easy, easy drop step.
Tried to do it again off of Dorka's fingertips.
They worked on that a lot at shoot-around. And the reverse seal, and really working on it when there's no defense out there, so you're getting it set mentally in your mind, your footwork.
20-point lead here for the Huskies against an FSU team that came in with outstanding credentials, one of the highest scoring teams in the country. 88 points a game, only one defeat. Latson has been harassed all throughout the first half, got that one up in the air, and it's going to be a blocking foul. With 3.8 on the clock, and the foul on Lopez Seneschal, number 2.
Latson really trying to get going. She almost turned it over. Lopez Seneschal, I think the only reason that wasn't called as an offensive foul is Lopez Seneschal's foot was inside the restricted area.
Puts Latson at the line. The freshman for 2. Recently had 3 consecutive 30-point games. And so FSU is looking for more of the same here today. And she's had a heck of a time getting into the scoring column. Makes them both. Opportunity here for a heave. Will not get the shot off in time. Did not go in any event. But otherwise, a terrific first half, even without Gino, for UConn on top 53-35 as we head back to the studio and join our man Kevin Connors. So they're getting healthier, and it's paying off in a big way. Dorka Juhas just terrific in the first half as she returned to the lineup. Florida State with the basketball to begin the second half. And trying to get started, Latson. Tanaya Latson, one of the great scorers in America, 25 points a game, but had a cold first half. Foul goes against FSU as we get things started in the second half. That'll go against Timpson, number 3. Brooke Wyckoff, first year's head coach of Florida State. She's had a lot of nice moments in the early going against everybody other than UConn.
Well, and getting in foul trouble, look again. That's why it's so key that Michaela Timpson, she's going to the bench with the 3 fouls. She's their starting post player. She also averages 13 points a game, and she's had to take a seat.
Another miss there for Latson. UConn with the turnover. Going to get that back. Lopez Seneschal.
Those kind of turnovers can be so deflating. You get some momentum, you think, oh, okay, I've gotten a stop, but then to turn it right back over, that just breaks your back.
Edwards already with 20, and that's going to be a blocking foul. And going to be number 2 on FSU's Myers, the 6'3" grad out of Ohio. By having Nika Mule back and feeling good, clear-headed, you know, the concussion hopefully in the rearview mirror completely. Latson with the theft and will lay it in on the other end. But a huge difference maker for the Huskies. She's so smart out there and tough.
She is smart and a calming factor. When you have a true point guard on the floor, she's communicating. She's telling everybody what spots to be in.
And when tipped out, just getting started. Half number 2. Obviously a home crowd here for Chris Daly and UConn. It just feels like business as usual for the Huskies, even without Gino here today. I hope that is only temporary. And a foul off the basketball. And still to come, we've got Iowa State taking on Villanova, a game we're really looking forward to. You talk about star power, you know, on one floor in one afternoon. We've got it here today.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Maddie Seacrest from Villanova that can score in so many different ways to go along with going against Ashley Jones. But Iowa State is not just Ashley Jones either. They've got a center, Stephanie Suarez, 6'7".
Way downtown, that won't drop for Howard. Only a 28% three-point shooter. Juhas giving it up for Lopez Seneschal. Edwards getting everything she wants and more. She's just had a great game.
As I'm watching Florida State attempting to try to defend UConn, they're trying to take away everything. They're trying to take away the three-point shot and the paint. When you try to do that, look, you're not doing anything well, and that's what has been that is really what has opened up Aaliyah Edwards inside. So focused on the perimeter. Look at the lane. The driving lane is there for Edwards.
22 points for her. Nika Mule just picked up foul number 3. Tania Latson to the line. She has taken twice as many shots this season as any other teammate. That's usually been a very good thing. She and Iowa's Caitlin Clark, the only 2 in the top 5 in scoring, field goals made, and foul shots made.
And she does it at a high percentage, too. It's not like she's a volume shooter and she's shooting a poor percentage. And a lot of times she's able to score with nobody guarding her because she's so quick off the bounce.
But how many times have we seen it over the years with a Gino Auriemma team? A great scorer comes in to face the Huskies, you know, with a lot of publicity, and justifiably so, but the Huskies absolutely shut that score down and continue to get it done underneath.
Well, everybody wants to talk about Connecticut's offense, but they have just year after year after year had tremendous defensive teams. They really, that's a mainstay. You have to, in order to get on the floor for Connecticut, you got to play defense.
Howard with a great bank shot there and takes the hit as well. The senior heading to the line. She's out of Madison, Wisconsin, transfer from Auburn. And a really fine all-around player. Ducharme with the foul, her first. But I think it's a great point about the defense that Gino's teams have played, because they've always had great players who become marquee talents that everybody knows, you know, coast to coast. What kind of gets lost in the shuffle is they are gritty and they are tough and they play suffocating defense.
Well, and they play connected defense as well. They know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and so you defend that way. If you are a little slow of foot, maybe defending on the perimeter, then your team knows they got to rotate to be there for you. And that collective team defense, and then the ones that are athletic enough to get out in the passing lanes, to get it and go, they have those, that combination of that as well.
Batted around and knocked out of play with 6:55 to go in the quarter. And so Florida State will maintain possession, trailing 59-42. Massengill to get it in. Play to Kentucky and Tennessee. Latson driving, swatted away again. Yet another block for Juhas. Had a bunch of them in this one. She had 4 in the first quarter.
Well, Juhas has really got the number. It's like she's paid attention to the scouting report, where the drives are going to be, and then the timing of where she can get her block.
Edwards working on a 22-point day. Tried to get it to the big again, but batted away by FSU. Back to the block.
Juhas is able just to float around in the paint. Any drive that comes inside, Torka Juhas is there.
Keeps this up. It might be a triple-double today for her. Talk about a return to the lineup, a triumphant one. Lopez Seneschal, the shot clock winding down, got it in the air and hit it with 2 showing on the shot clock.
Man, she can score the basketball. She's already shown she can shoot the 3, and then the ability to take it off the bounce.
She had 23 against Duke, 21 against Notre Dame. Talking about 1,800 career points, another whistle.
You have to respect number 11 in white, Lopez Seneschal, and when you play her tight now, she's also showing that she can take it off the bounce. When that window opens, she's ready to knock it down.
Ducharme with number 2. Deanna Patterson coming in. Juhas to the bench. She's earned a rest. And Aubrey Griffin also in now for UConn. A little bit deeper than they were last time out against Maryland when they only had 7 available players.
Nika Mule being on the floor. It's like a coach on the floor. While the free throw is being shot, she's communicating the offense they're going to run.
Patterson getting right into the game and immediately thinks better of it. Myers there to say hello. Second block for Valencia Myers. Stolen away by the Seminoles, and they want to run. One dribble down, and Howard up and in. So Aaron Howard with 11.
Well, can Florida State put back-to-back stops together, trying to build some confidence right here, make a little run in this third quarter?
Mule directing traffic.
That's a great cut by Aubrey Griffin.
Up with Seneschal. And going to be a whistle and a foul on the floor. Vigetti in there. She's a very scrappy defender. The Arizona State transfer.
One of the things Florida State may look to do, instead of trying to play straight up man-to-man, just switch everything. Might have looked like a zone, but you have somebody covered in every position. Wyckoff's trying to find some answers.
Vigetti with her third foul. 5'7" senior. 5:22 to go here in the third. Trying to pass it again, but a whistle. And another personal here against the Seminoles. And that'll be 3 on Myers. So Nika Mule to get it in here. And now the Huskies will huddle.
Well, they're shooting. They're over the limit, so now UConn gets to go to the free throw line.
Patterson, a good foul shooter at 80%. And drops in number 1. 62-46.
Dave, you remember the days of UConn where Gino used to have probably five starters and then maybe a sub or 2 and a half. And that was it. And really the starters went the majority of the minutes. Now he's got, and a good thing, he's got 9, 10 talented players that were originally on the roster, got 9 available today. And Chris Daly has really used all but 1.
Latson with a good look on the three-pointer.
Yeah, Mari DeBerry's about the only one that hasn't been in the game.
DeBerry, the 6'5" sophomore, a turnover. Gordon on the run and will lay it in. So they've cut this back to 12. Done it rather quietly here the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, just as of late has really kept this crowd out of it.
Lopez Seneschal looking for room, and that'll roll off the iron. That'll be off FSU, and we'll take a break here. Florida State trying to make a game of it. 63-51 UConn. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the NCAA. Mohegan Sun lobby done up beautifully here for the holidays. Thanks so much for tuning in today here at Mohegan Sun. A couple of outstanding games here today. And how about the outstanding performance by Nika Mule coming back? All those assists and the most by a UConn player in the last 20 years. We talk about 5 games with 10 or more.
Well, she has 10 assists. She's got 5 turnovers, but again, she is the true point guard on the floor, really the brains on the court to really help the ball get to where it needs to be for Connecticut.
Lopez Seneschal will line one up and draws the foul inside the three-point line when she took the contact.
What I like about Lopez Seneschal's game is she's always hunting buckets. And she knows she can shoot it. She's got great confidence in her shot, and she's looking for that opportunity. It doesn't have to be a play run for her. She makes the play for her until the defense stops it.
Almost 1,800 career points. Women's basketball continues later on ESPN2 in the app. The second annual Pac-12 USLBM Coast to Coast Challenge inside American Airlines Arena in Dallas. USC in Texas at 3:30. Then it's number 12 Arizona facing number 19 Baylor. We have a very busy day in women's college basketball and evening. Gordon hitting the deck there with 4:01 left in the third. And Florida State able to cut in a little bit. A couple of times today, it looked like they were going to be buried. Lopez Seneschal, number 3. Seminoles fighting back a bit. Has to go on the baseline and knocked away.
I just wonder if there'll be a point that Florida State really turns up the defense and extends it to some full court pressure. Princeton extended the pressure and Connecticut turned the ball over. That could be an area if Florida State has that in their defensive package.
Wraparound pass doesn't quite get there. The shot is up and in any event. Great work there underneath by Timpson. Just stayed with it.
Well, Timpson had to go to the bench because of some foul trouble. Having her on the floor, she is a post presence, a rebounding presence for the Seminole.
Patterson with number 1 to send her to the line. Chance at a 3-point play. So Florida State's not out of this thing by any measure. Question is, can they get a really hot hand? Tania Latson has been in and out. She's warmed up a little bit here in the third. Very good sign for the Seminoles.
Well, Latson has 18, but she's only 5 of 17 from the floor.
And stolen away, mishandled there by the Huskies. Last few games, that's been a real issue for them.
Points off turnovers. That's how Florida State can get in this game.
Latson with a drive, and it's going to be out of play off of FSU. So UConn will take over.
See, this is a play where Latson's getting in and understanding that UHAS is there. Don't leave the floor to make a pass.
Griffin. Swing here for Lopez Seneschal. Gets herself a shot, drops it in. What a nice touch.
Hunting buckets. Lopez Seneschal is constantly hunting buckets.
18. 67-53. Valenzuela, yes! Talk about nice touch. You know, 3-point land, she's been outstanding. 61%.
Florida State's going to need more of that if they want to chip away at this lead.
UHA short. One and done that time for the Huskies. Pull up pop. Got that one to go. Gordon on target. And don't look now. But Florida State firmly back in this game, down 67-58. And UConn with a timeout. The last FSU deficit, less than 10, was when the game was 13-4.
Quick tempo, up tempo, turn up the intensity. The Florida State Seminoles are going to have to do more of this right here if they want to pull off the upset.
Carolyn, FSU is down 18 at half.
Oh, this third quarter has all been about the intensity, the turn up of Florida State on the defensive end. That's allowed them to get off and running offensively. All you need is a little spark, a little bit of confidence to believe that you can come here to Mohegan Sun and knock off the Connecticut Huskies. I see a glimpse of that confidence really building for Florida State.
We're talking about it all day. You know, Brooke has a good team. They're 11-1 for a reason. Out of the corner, the jumper won't go for Griffin. That's all for the Huskies on that possession. So Florida State trying to keep it rolling as they get just 9 down. Will Latson start to catch fire? Well, she drives and hits.
Space. Pulling the size of Connecticut up to that free throw line area. So if Latson can get past that first layer, that can create some scoring opportunities.
The Seminoles have made their last 7 shots, so collectively they have heated up.
Well, and you see now they're locked in defensively. The rotations are there. Everybody's covered on the defensive end. But look where Dorka Uhas and Aaliyah Edwards are. They're up and they open up that lane, giving a clearer path for Latson to get to the rim.
They've kind of done it without Latson to this point, but you're talking about 25 points a game. And another one mishandled, this one by Uhas down low. Those turnovers piling up now for the Huskies.
Now can Florida State really take advantage? Can they convert with each possession?
Well, look for 0-0 here. The ACC's #1 scorer. She wants it on the drive, and a foul with the body by Juhas before the block.
Well, it's off the ball screen, and Latson recognizes that she's got now a bigger post on her, and instead of leaving the space where really teeing it up for Juhas to spike it, she used her body, protected it, and that's how she got to the free throw line.
Latson is undaunted. She's had a bad shooting game by her standards. To this point anyway, 6 out of 18, but very good at the foul line as she has been all year. And nudging them a little bit closer. How about this? A 6-point game with over minutes to go in the third quarter.
And this is a young Florida State team that has not lost confidence, has not hung their head. They are just like, okay, chip away, getting closer and closer. Pulled it within 5.
Latson now 22 on the day. Buell trying to use the screen. Latson staying on her hip. She'll drive it. Can't get it to go, but hits the deck as well, and another whistle. It is tough getting underneath the basket for both of these teams. They're going to find some company. And that personal goes against Timpson.
I do catch myself every time a Connecticut player hits the floor. It's like,
well, you're not alone here, I'll tell you that.
But Mule is so tough. She is up. I said after that Princeton game, when she went down with the head injury, she probably could have come back in, but just under precaution. She was one that wanted to go back in, was like, no, wait, let's just make sure everything's okay.
Sometimes a kid can be too tough for their own good, but you look at the all-stars on the bench. No one even got a look at Ice Brady, a tremendous recruit, one of the great high school players in America.
A great body post-game inside, tremendous hands, able to finish, bring some physicality. She'll be great to watch next season.
But the Huskies have to do with what they have right now, despite a lot of big leads today. It's been cut to 69-62. Second effort here for Latson. Seminoles right back at it. Is a wide open corner jumper, and that won't fall from three-point land. Valenzuela could not get it to go. Juhas underneath, and another whistle and a foul with 32.5 seconds to go in the third. This is really shaping up for a dynamite fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, you better get your popcorn, get your soda pop ready for this fourth quarter.
Myers, number 4 for the Seminoles, a 6'3" graduate. And Dorka Juhas to the bench, or to the line, I should say. 63% there.
Watching Brooke Wyckoff on the sideline when Valencia Meyer comes out of the game, and in talking to Tenaya Latson, I said, what made you, because she made the decision to come to Florida State in the transition with Sue Samara deciding not to come back. They hired Brooke Wyckoff. She said, you know what? She said, Coach Brooke is harder and tougher on me than she felt like Sue Samara was going to be. And she goes, I need that. She said, she gets on you now, but she welcomes being coached hard.
Well, they made a hard run to crawl back into this game, and now they have the basketball in the final seconds of the third.
Latson needs a big bucket right now to give her some momentum going into the fourth quarter.
Going around the back, and she lost it. Buell gives it up. Lopez Seneschal at the horn. That won't go, but that third certainly belonged to the Seminoles. They outscored Connecticut 27-18, very much alive here as we go to the fourth. Brooke Wyckoff, Florida State head coach, trying to pick off a top 10 opponent. Gino Auriemma out today, not feeling well. And so Chris Daly taking over. Remember, she is 13-0 when she has stepped in for Gino over that 38-year period they've been together.
Well, that's on the line, but Florida State, look, they don't care about her record. They have really warmed up in this game today. They started out with 11 in the first quarter. They scored 27 points in that third quarter.
FSU trailed at one point late in the second quarter, 51-28. It looked like it was going to be one of those classic blowout wins for the Huskies. Not so fast.
Well, we've got a player like Tenaya Latson who can really manufacture points with a quickness. If they can get Valencia open for some threes and they can turn Connecticut over, they could make this fourth quarter very interesting.
Yet another turnover, though, for UConn as those pile up now. 16 for UConn.
Keep an eye on number 5 in the garnet and gold. She's down underneath the basket right now. That's the three-point shooter for Florida State.
And that foul will go the other way. A charge here for FSU.
That's not what Florida State needs there. Again, jump passing. You've got to recognize the defense rotates over. You got to stay on the floor, make some decisions.
Number 3 on Latson, who has 22. Here's Mule, short. Latson to push it. Going in strong. Nice job switching hands. And it is 71-64. It's got real quiet in here.
And Latson's trying to make up for some lost time. She knows she hasn't played it well, and that's risky there. That's 4 fouls on the freshman.
And really unnecessary. Coming out to try and take it away from Edwards, the 6'3" junior. And now she has to step aside. They're 25 points per game average. UConn up 7. UConn's trying to get it downstairs for Edwards. Blocked out of her hand. She was looking for a foul. None forthcoming there. I think this crew's done a really good job.
They have done a really good job. But Erin Howard rotating in on the backside. Or was that Jasmine Massigel on the backside?
Yes.
Getting the deflection.
Shot clock at 7. On the backdoor roll, and it's off the iron by Ducharme. Everybody groaned in here. Way downtown, that one won't drop.
See, shot selections for Florida State. I know they want to play fast, but you want to make sure that you are getting good shots.
Gordon getting airborne. She'll draw the personal. The little 5'4" sophomore. Crowd didn't like it. That's going back to the play a couple of moments ago on the other end, and that's going to be number 4 on Lou Lopez Seneschal. And that'll send Gordon to the line. She's 78%. See if she can help out offensively. She's very capable. She had 23 against Texas Southern.
She's one of these players that can really speed things up. Again, I'm just waiting to see, will Florida State bring full court pressure? Will they try to extend and get easy opportunities? Because right now, Connecticut on their heels. They've missed some easy layups inside. They've turned the ball over. They've opened the door. They got to sharpen some things up if they want to close this one out.
Now, right now, Florida State is the story as they're within 5 in the fourth quarter. UConn has missed 8 of their last 9 shots. Roots for the corner. Long one. Off that iron by Ducharme.
Connecticut doesn't have to be in a hurry.
That's one of the reasons why when you have Lopez Seneschal to drain those long threes.
If Connecticut is patient, they operate their post-game inside the defense collapse, then that's when shooters are going to get their time.
She has 21. Lou, as they say here in the building, and turned over a sloppy play by the Seminoles.
Lou Seneschal. Lopez Seneschal finds her area in the corner, flattening down. That corner, that's a tough place to guard. And Lopez Seneschal can get there and knock down those shots.
Felt like a big shot at the moment because all the momentum was going the Seminoles' way. Juhas with a spin, blocked. Great defense there by Howard, sticking right with her, and she was outsized.
And Howard's got to do that and defend without foul. I mean, that's what Connecticut's posts have been able to do is when they get the ball inside, they've been able to finish or get to the free throw line. 7
on the shot clock here for UConn. Lopez Seneschal will not wait, not there for her. Seminoles on the attack, trailing 74-66. Up top, Massigel will let fly. Boy, she got a great look.
Massigel, she's hit big buckets down the stretch. She hit a big one against Purdue to pull off the win. She needs to get going in this fourth quarter.
Valenzuela with the personal. Yeah, you're right. She's done it with 3 programs.
Yes. With Tennessee, at Kentucky, and now at Florida State.
Edwards going to the bench. And Latson is back on with the 4 fouls. But they need her. Just a freshman. But she's been spectacular this season for FSU.
She's been part of some great high school programs, been in some tough situations. She played disciplined right now.
A 3, not there, in transition. Latson trying to get the pass downstairs and a foul, and that's going to be number 5. An offensive on Latson. Got to look at a shock on her face. 6:44 to go in the game. She has 24.
Lopez finish out. Really, she got over there. She established good defensive guarding position, absorbed the contact. That's just a tremendous defensive play.
So Latson has fouled out the McDonald's All-American, who's won 5 consecutive ACC Rookie of the Week honors. Great start to her career, but she's out of the game now. She has fouled out. The Seminoles win it back, though.
She put up 24 points, just a point off her season average.
Gordon running to point. Approaching the 6-minute mark. Bigetti on the drive. No! Boy, a tough angle shot.
Yeah, Bigetti and Jasmine Massengale are really going to have to take over if Florida State wants to get in striking distance.
That's where the Huskies really need heady play out of the point guard. And to have Mule back in the fold could be very big here down the stretch. But another turnover. Keep saying that. It's 18 for the Huskies. Tough catch there by Timpson, and up and in for 2. And this gets tighter. And Michaela now at 9.
And Gordon's making some really good decisions from the point, finding where the ball needs to go.
Great play run for Ducharme, up and in. Give her 9 today. Great ball movement again by UConn, 76-68.
Florida State's got to be in more of a sense of urgency to get to their spots offensively.
Howard got it. Really hasn't shot the ball well this season from 3, but today she's 3 out of 8.
Well, you got to find those opportunities when they present themselves and try to make it pay off.
Griffin on the baseline, tapped out by the Seminoles.
The Seminoles right now chipping away. It's got to be Jasmine Massengale now that the freshman's out in foul trouble.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Invesco QQQ, official ETF of the NCAA, and by Boost Mobile, everything you could want in a wireless carrier. Carolyn Peck, Dave O'Brien with you. UConn in a fight here with Florida State. I would say many who tuned in the first half, unexpectedly a fight here in the fourth quarter.
The third quarter, the second half, Florida State really started to build some confidence, started to turn Connecticut over. Aaliyah Edwards, though, really hasn't been as productive as she was in the first half. A lot of that has to do with she didn't play a lot.
Edwards taking that baseline. Heavy traffic, makes it anyway.
And that's what you get when you have Aaliyah Edwards on the floor.
We're in that face mask because of the broken nose suffered in practice. As we said earlier, even the healthy players for UConn are banged up to some degree. Although getting healthier, and it's paid off today, at least to this point. About 4 minutes to go. Massengale will give it up. And a whistle with 8 seconds on the clock. Good to see Edwards, for Husky fans, getting involved again in the offense, but pretty quiet in the second half.
Well, she just does such a nice job of shaping up, and then when she vacated the block, she left a lane of where she could come back inside and able to get there for the finish.
24 points. 11 out of 16.
I really love the hunger that she's playing with this season. I didn't see as much of that in her sophomore year. That's back. She's playing like she did her freshman season, even more developed.
Jetty will back it out for the Seminoles, coming in 11-1. That only defeat against Oklahoma State. That was by 2 points. They've been involved in a lot of close games.
Well, Florida State's using a lot of time in the shot clock.
Yeah, 6 on the clock here. Out off of Connecticut. So getting late here at Mohegan Sun. Timpson with a spin. Yes, what a tough shot.
That was really tough. Her body got contorted, all out of shape, and she's still able to get the finish.
A 5-point game. You missed it as we came on the air. Here is Juhasen. She's had a terrific afternoon in her return to the lineup. Head coach Gino Oriema unable to get to the sideline today because he's not feeling well. An abundance of caution, as the university said, stepping aside today, not coaching. Long distance, and swished in by Howard. She made a couple of big shots here. And this is a 4-point game.
Holy cow. Hey, hang on. Don't go anywhere. We got less than 3.5 minutes. You're going to see something special.
Leading scorers for FSU, Latson has already fouled out with 24, but Aaron Howard has hit some big shots, just 17 a season high.
Look, Dave O'Brien, Aaron Howard said, don't look at that 27.8% from three. She said, in practice they go. It's going to transfer into game time, and it's done it today.
Oh, it sure has. At the right time, too. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Edwards on the drive, lays it in. UConn looking for more of that here down the stretch.
Aaliyah Edwards is getting whatever she wants.
She has a career-high 26 points. Bigetti on the baseline and a blocking foul. 82-76.
Well, the best way to score now is if you don't get a quick open look, attack the basket and get yourself to the free throw line. Oh, no, they're still taking the ball underneath out of bounds.
I mentioned Gino not able to coach today. It's been a particularly rough period for the legendary coach. He recently lost his very dear mom. Chris Daly taking over today. She has been at his side for 38 years. Great coach in her own right. Trying to coach UConn to a victory here against the Seminoles. Jumping in the lane, got a good look there. Timpson did, but no.
Gordon almost tipped it away. Connecticut can just keep going through Aaliyah Edwards. When she touches it, good things are happening.
High post. Lopez Seneschal lets fly. Off the front of the iron. Seminoles not going to wait. Bigetti blocked by Edwards. And no whistle, no foul. A clean block. And she got back fast on defense.
Bigetti, though, coming down, just don't have the numbers. You're not going to score over Aaliyah Edwards. Better to she can drive down, then probe in the lane, then get out, and then you're going to have others to follow.
Massigill trying to get it in, does. Gordon brings it out top as we head toward the 2-minute mark here at Mohegan Sun. Way downtown once again. Howard off target that time. Well, you thought the way things have been going for her, that was going to go down. 82-76.
The way that she has been able to shoot the basketball, that ball screen action, that's the direction Brooke Wyckoff was looking.
Juhas, no. And picked off a second effort. Great work there by Lopez Seneschal. Out-hustled everybody to the basketball. Knocked away from Mule, but a foul here on FSU stops the clock at 1:41 remaining in a tense one down the stretch. That's going to be number 5 on Michaela Timpson. So she's fouled out with 11.
Timpson, a sophomore that has really She was stepping up big, able to hit some big shots in the paint.
So it'll be Mule to the line. UConn has not missed at the foul line. They're 15 for 15. So Mule shooting 2. That's their first miss. The inaugural Jumpman Invitational. It's in Charlotte, tipping off Tuesday. A top 20 women's matchup between number 7 North Carolina and number 19 Michigan. Coverage beginning at 7 p.m. on ESPN2 and the app.
Courtney Vanguard has done a terrific job since coming to North Carolina. You got a guard like Deja Kelly, can really make things go.
Passing go there, and a whistle. With just over 90 seconds to go, foul here on UConn. With 132 showing, that's on Ducharme number 4. Fouls are kind of piling up on both sides. Howard to drive it, and the kick. Out high for the long one. Valenzuela with the rebound, they'll get a second chance.
Valenzuela's the one you want shooting the 3.
Has to go with the drive and the kick. Yeah, she's open now in the corner, but she airmailed that one. So UConn with a big defensive stop. Under a minute now at 59.8 with the foul. 83-76 as UConn looks to hold on. As that foul will go against Gordon, and that'll be her 3rd.
Now, Brooke Wyckoff has 2 timeouts, so if Connecticut scores here, does she want to use those and advance the basketball?
2 foul shots.
So Edwards with 2 coming, 73% at the line for the 6'3 junior, and in and out on number 1. Meanwhile, Florida State has missed their last 5 shots. When they've been hot, they've been really hot. When they've been cold, they've been ice cold.
It's been ice cold, kind of like when I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
I believe it. This time of the year.
So now Florida State needs to go score quick. They've got to score quick, and then immediately they are able to, after Connecticut takes the ball out, foul quick, put them back at the free throw line.
Howard struggling to get up a shot, got it in the air, flips up the second one and draws the foul with 42.4 to play. So Aaron Howard, the senior, and the transfer from Auburn, good all-around player. She can score, rebound, pass, and defend. Now she has to shoot foul shots. Uhas with number 3 for the Huskies. And she makes number 1. The Seminoles not letting go of this one. Early in the game, it looked like they were going to get blown out of the gym. They have made a spirited comeback. They were down 18 at halftime. They won that 3rd quarter big time, and the foul to stop it at 39.6. And UConn trying to eke this one out without Coach Oriema today.
Now they make free throws down the stretch. And again, Florida State, Brooke Wyckoff still has the 2 fouls with 39 seconds. Will she burn one on a rebound or after a make to advance the basketball? She's not going to use it yet. She's still calling a play to come quick in transition.
That one rattles in as well. She's a 95% foul shooter. 85-77. FSU's got to go fast. Gordon, not there for her.
You got a foul.
Time running out as UConn gets in the offensive zone to Lopez Seneschal. And Florida State is elected not to foul. So UConn is going to win this game in a hard-fought second half.
Well, it's been really a combination, the inside play. Aaliyah Edwards, a tremendous game, 26 points, and then outside, Lou Lopez Seneschal knocking down threes. She was 4 of 9 from the three-point line.
3.6 seconds to go before the Huskies can really celebrate as they improve to 8-2 on the season, despite all their injuries and not having their legendary head coach today. They win the ball game. Florida State with quite an effort in the second half, 85-77.
They did, but Gino Arima not here. Chris Daly goes to 14-0 in the absence.
That's all.
Of the head coach.
So we take a look at today's play of the game, brought to you by healthcare.gov.
Aaliyah Edwards just had a phenomenal game. Off ball screens and then getting to the basket, really punishing in the paint. Number 3 for the Connecticut Huskies.
So they really had to shake off the Seminoles in that second half when it looked like they were cruising to a pretty easy win. Not that easy in the end, but number 9, UConn wins it here today over Florida State. We've got Iowa State and Villanova coming your way. Should be a dandy in game number 2. Kev, Steph, and Nikki in the studio, guys.